Shouts out Big Steve.
What up? Welcome again. Another episode of the Big Brain PFL this week, no UFC. And got my boy Pepe back again. Wasn't going to do this, but I mean, no one's doing a podcast, and you know, you have to have something on when there's no UFC. So here we are. Thanks for doing this super last minute, mate.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, anytime I look into fights, I'm down to discuss them, and usually it helps me because when I talk things out loud, sometimes I get like an epiphany about the fight or I miss something. So, yeah, thanks for having me on, bro.
No worries, man. It was really hard. I hate these cards. I had like one prop bet last time, and I feel the same. So hopefully we find something.
Yeah, I have a good amount of action on here, so we'll have some shit to talk about.
Yeah. Should we bring in Big Bird as well?
Yeah, I'm down. I've never broken down a card with him.
Yeah, it's not as good as it feels, but I'll bring him in. Do you want to start off with the first fight while I do the link? It's Chanel Dyer versus Cifuentes. Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So the curtain jerker for this card is Chanel Dyer against Luisa Cifuentes, and it looks like a squash matchup. We got a 22-year-old hype job flyweight against 32-year-old Colombian who's kind of just like having a lot of trouble on the regional scene. Doesn't look to have a lot of skills in any area of MMA, just kind of an exister. Really no striking skills whatsoever. She tries to like clinch up. She likes to grapple, but she's not good at grappling. But it's mostly just cage push. She's a punching bag on the feet. It's a clear spot for them to push Dyer, and the line reflects it. She's what, minus 800 or whatever.
Yeah, it's way too steamed.
Yeah, so nothing on that for me. I was debating on playing the only reason I looked into this one at all was because I was debating on playing the over, but yeah, I don't know. I could see her getting finished, but I could also see it potentially going late too. I mean, if she gets out of the first round and maybe she's able to cage push and clinch up, Chanel could possibly slow down. I mean, the we're still talking about a 125-pound girl with 2 pro fights. So, I'm not looking to slam unders, ITD. It's just a complete pass for me.
Yeah. Did you watch the last fight? Her last in Lux fight series?
Just the highlights. She got smashed from by a girl from Entrom, who looks to be okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe she might be durable, so I'm also considering passing everything because of that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I like nothing would surprise me as far as like if she just got her ass beat to a 30-27 or if she got knocked out early. I mean, her one knockout was like a spinning back fist. She didn't really look like she was close to finishing the other girl before she landed that like crazy spinning back fist. And how high percentage of an outcome is that really? But like I said, she's only 22, so she's gonna continue to get better. She looks to be really sharp. So yeah.
And she's interesting little thing on her amateurs. She's been finished 3 times in round 3 by Shana Bannon, Indy Blair, rear naked choke, and then Ivana Petrovic, ground and pound, the one that lost to Carolina Dredd in the UFC. So maybe it's and that's 3-minute rounds. So maybe I contemplated the under 2.5, but I'm not going to force anything.
That would indicate that she probably slows down if she's getting finished 3 different times in round 3. So I mean, that alludes even more to the point that this girl just needs to escape round 1, and potentially the overs are going to be solid.
But then again, they're all ground finishes, so we probably it's
Well,
probably
even like even if she's not getting finished, if she's slowing down, that means she's gonna just be existing.
cool. We've got some background music too now.
Sorry, I'll make sure I'm on mute when I'm not
Yo,
talking.
what's good, bro? Where you at the club or something?
Yeah, I wish. No, we're at the gym doing homework. I saw Steve got on the live, so I'm just like, fuck it, I'm bored. Let's talk some fights.
Nice. You wear your chain to the gym?
Yeah, man, we always gotta look good in public, you know what I'm saying?
Flexing on them in more than one way.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
sir.
new. It's a new generation. You have anything about this fight, the first fight, mate? Or are we passing?
I just blind bet the spread on Dyer, but I just been following Great Britain top team. I know they've been hyping her up, but yeah, I didn't look into it in depth, so I didn't look into the women's fights at all, honestly.
Cool. All right, let's move on. Valentina Scatizzi, Manuela Marconetti. Well, my sharp mate told me to look into this fight. I wish I didn't. I get the avenue. After he told me to look into it, every single person I know is playing it. I'm pretty sure Pepe's playing it too. It's all the money line and a little bit of decision. And yeah, I get it, but it's just I taped like 7 fights of Marconetti. I played her in Bellator. Uh, yeah, it just seems like a shit show. Maybe Scatizzi should be a slight favorite because she's a dog. She throws. She comes after it, and she's definitely less stiff and slow than this other chick. But I think they have a lot of similarities. I think both their wrestling's average. Anyone semi decent. A kickboxer that Valentina has fought, she got rear naked choked in the first round. I was trying to find my Canetti tape on the bottom because obviously there's going to be a lot of grappling, but I couldn't find that Danny McCormick fight that she won. I watched it before, and I found LFA she got taken down and went for an armbar. Yeah, it couldn't beg me to put my money on this fight, but yeah, I get why. I'm
Is,
sure you're going to tell us, Pepe.
is your boy on Scatizzi or Manuela?
I don't know. He just said look into it. He doesn't like to give me like the sides. I'm
Oh,
sure.
okay.
I'm sure I'd pick him. Was it always pick him?
Um, uh, Scatizzi opened -135, and then Manuela got steamed, and then once Scatizzi got to like +115 or something, she started taking action slowly and slowly, and now she's like a slight favorite.
Yeah, who knows? He could have been the one to steam Mark Kennedy, but who knows? He maybe
But
didn't play anything. He just told
yeah,
me to look
but
into it.
the opener was the one that got steamed with small limits, so I don't
No,
know.
that wasn't him then. No.
Yeah, so he's
It's
probably on my side, I would imagine.
yeah, like everyone else, yeah, he's just
Yeah,
a little bit of
so yeah,
decision.
I played Scatizzi at +104, I think, yesterday, and like I said, or like you had mentioned, I played the decision at +250. They had they just lined it really weird. Like they had her like way more likely to finish ITD, and I get it, she has a couple, but Manuela's super durable. She's not I don't think she's gonna finish her. I mean, she could always like ground and pound her out, ref mercy stoppage, but I don't really see that happening. I see a decision win, and I do think it's going to be relatively close. But like I said, when I hit her, she was plus money, and what it comes down to for me is that at she's what 13 years younger, um, and Manuela's taking this on short notice. She's slowed down quite a bit, as she's gotten older, very rigid on the feet, low volume, and Scatizzi's aggressive. She pursues grappling. She is going to be the one, clinching up, cage pushing, controlling against the cage. And on the feet, I think it's pretty similar on the feet, to be honest. Scatizzi's just a little more aggressive. Um, and I know she's going to attempt takedowns. So, yeah, it was just an easy play at plus money. Right now, I don't know. I'm not sure if I would get involved right now at current money line.
Yeah, your line's pretty good, but yeah, yeah. I don't know. What about you, mate? Oh, you said you didn't look into any of the female fights. All right, let's save some time because there's three of us. Alrighty, this is a good fight. I'm excited about this fight, and halfway through tape. By the way, taping this card was horrible. Using the Yuku tube, it just pissed me off so much, and just lagging, and I have to turn the VPN on to put a bet on, and then the VPN slows down Yuku. It takes me like 3 hours to finish one fight. But yeah, like this, I don't mind this Chizov guy. I think he's a bit underrated. Taping halfway through it, I was like, I can understand the dog money, and I'm probably lining up to play it. And this was before I watched round 3 of the Duque fight, and then how easily he got taken down by Duque in round 3 after he did so well in round 2 to like hurt him and stuff a few takedowns. And it's just like really negative takedown. Takedown defense is good like in the middle when he's expecting a shot, like he's good at shutting it down. But as soon as you touch him, he just falls over, man. He just falls over. So I don't know. Yesterday this was almost a pick'em, and then I actually wanted to play John Mitchell. I think he can be competitive early. He can be competitive on the feet, with Mitchell kind of just getting takedowns that he needs. But I don't know. Mitchell kind of gives me vibes where he's not 100% proven to me as well. It's a weird fight. Like I was kind of passing on the slight plus money on Chizov, just because I felt like he could barely lose with the takedowns involved. And then I also wanted to pass on the pick'em on Mitchell because I don't know. I don't trust the guy. I think maybe Chizov is the more talented fighter. I don't know. So this is a pass fight for me now. I mean, it's closed in. I know some of you boys. You boys are on two different sides. So maybe you go first, Pierce. Let us know.
Yeah, so I got the early number on Chizov, but I'm fully expecting this to be a very tilted fight, just because when you watch Chizov fight, like a lot of his mistakes is like going for the front chokes. He kind of falls in love with his grappling a little too much when it comes to like defending the takedowns. And with Mitchell, I mean, I don't blame you for thinking Mitchell was the side at around a pick'em. I'm surprised it even got that close. I just think Chizov's maybe more dangerous, whereas like you got Mitchell, he has the clear path to victory, which is the grappling. But Chizov, I know he got his back taken against Duque, and that wasn't the best look. But I honestly think Duque's jiu-jitsu and just like his process on the mat is levels better than what Mitchell presents. I don't know. My thought process is if like Chizov turns the back to stand up, I don't think John Mitchell's the guy to put in the hooks. And honestly, like Chizov's submission's a good flyer. I played the opener on that. It's got steamed a lot, but I mean, we've seen Mitchell in the Amis get guillotined. He's tapped to some front chokes a couple times. I don't know. It's at these odds, man. I can't force a play, but I think it's going to be damage versus control. Because if Chizov works up and doesn't accept bottom position, I feel like he's the better striker. He's more dangerous. Mitchell's got good like fundamental striking, but it's not like he's dangerous on the feet. It just honestly, the fight comes down to how smart Chizov is. Because if he fights a dumb game plan like his last fight, he's probably going to lose. But I understand the takes on both sides. I just got a big number on Chizov, and I'm going to let it ride.
Fair enough. I wouldn't mind the big number either. What's the sub paying now after being steamed?
I want to say 500 if I'm correct. It was opened at like 1,000, which made no fucking sense. But yeah, it's about 500 right now. That's still worth a poke because you know he's gonna jump for like the classic Steve guillotine multiple times.
Yeah, he's got rear naked chokes as well. Like it's possible. That's why I can't play Mitchell at pick'em either. He's just I've got this feeling he's literally been subbed every single time in amateurs. It's this whole card is like PFL. I want to see more of these guys. What about you, Pepe?
Yeah, so I'm on the Mitchell side pretty big, and for me, it just comes down to just a clear grappling edge. Am I lagging at all or no?
No, you're fine, man.
Okay. Yeah, I like like you had alluded to before, Chizov just goes down so fucking easy. Like
Bit like
eh,
Chad.
yeah, exactly. Like a cheap hooker, he goes down like on nothing. And you know, Mitchell is just super consistent in the way he fights, and you know he's gonna pursue grappling. He fights to his strengths. He's still young, so like, yeah, he's made mistakes in the grappling before, but I rate those opponents a lot higher than I do Chizov. Like Chizov, he's fighting like complete fucking bums, dude. Like the strength of competition, I think, is way higher on the Mitchell side. He has more experience. Like the big red flag fight for me was Chizov against the Ukrainian kid. And this Ukrainian bum was just like, you know, took him down multiple times. Chizov wasn't even really working hard to get up. Like, and his cardio is not good either. Like as the fight goes on, it's easier to take him down. And even that Omar guy in PFL was a complete bum as well. Took him down multiple times, had his back, almost choked him out in round two. Um, yeah, just a ton of red flags, and it's just like such a easy setup match for Mitchell. I don't really see how. Yeah, it's just so clear to me that Mitchell's going to be able to take him down, and Chizov doesn't have good get ups. Like I think people think that he's going to be able to get up, but I don't see it on tape. Um, and he's fighting absolute fucking cans. You can rag on Mitchell for some of the mistakes he's made in the past, but I think it was good experience for him. I think his takedown entries are really good. He has a variety of different methods in getting people down. His last fight in PFL, that French dude had really good takedown defense. Chizov doesn't. So yeah, he's gonna take him down and he'll probably choke him out. I was initially thinking decision, but I'm starting to think that Mitchell's gonna actually get the submission himself.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I have to disagree with is level of comp. Like Mitchell's fought worse guys in my opinion. He's gone to like India and stuff and Sengai MMA and even the guy that submitted him was not the greatest. But yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's just yeah. I mean, he was even. I know you're saying he made mistakes when he was young. I mean, he was even submitted in 2022. Um, yeah, it's. I feel like Pick'em is accurate for me because
No, I don't think that dude is bad though, bro.
which one? The one
I
that
don't think.
submitted him.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad. Is he?
He was 5-2 at the time, but I mean, UAE Warriors is pretty good, but usually it's hard to tell. Yeah, I mean, he got knocked out by Rajevsky, the bad Rajevsky brother. Yeah, it's hard to tell. His level of competition is bum as well.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I guess I was kind of talking about like on the amateurs, his submission losses on the amateurs. Isakov and Hudson aren't bad.
yeah, they're good. They're good. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm leaning towards that way now. It's just, yeah, I'd rather play him honestly with the grappling upside. But yeah, someone
Yo,
stealing the back.
it's funny. It's funny because his main training partner is Munir Luzez, and like I was just thinking like, oh, that's a fucking awesome training partner to have. And then I was thinking back to Munir Luzez's last fight and how he got guillotined in the first round.
Yeah, yeah, but
But
everyone gets guillotined by
yeah, that was Bonfim.
hmm. All right, let's move on. Dylan Took, Jacob Kazuba. Props to Pierce hitting Took at a massive line last time. You know, he taped this guy and he's just getting run through by everyone. Guillotined, KO'd. He's obviously improved. I think he's either another gym or he's taking his career a bit more seriously. So he was had a great game plan against I think Hughes it was in the last one. So I can understand people taking him here as a dog again, but I just think this Jacob guy, he's a bit of the bore is a good nickname for him because he's quite boring watching him out there. He's a bit one-dimensional, but I think he's a bit more physical and he pushes the pace more than someone like Hughes. Hughes was just playing the game too much and he got frustrated when he couldn't corner him. I feel like this Jacob guy he will just close the distance. He's a bit more of a brute, and he's rear naked choking dudes. Radu, he's got some finishing upside. He ground and pounds people, so he's not, even though he's a wet blanket. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to play him at this price. Maybe, but I can't like forget about Tuk's chin and who he really is. It's just another one where I can't decide on this one. I could play the dog or I could play the favorite. Maybe Tuk can. There's not much tape of him getting grappled. Maybe Tuk can backpack. When Jakub initiates the grappling exchanges, but I've seen him get out of back takes and get on top. It just feels like something he can do. As with this style of fighting that I've seen, like these physical grinders, they usually, give the back up, reverse from the back. But yeah, maybe you go again, Pierce, because you got to play here again.
Yeah. Do I sound a lot better now? I had to move out of like the louder area.
Yeah, that's fine. That's better.
All right. So I think the way you put it was pretty straightforward. I mean, you got Jacob Kazuba. He's a former. I mean, not former. Dylan Tuke's the former bantamweight. Jacob Kazuba is the real lightweight. Is it? No, this is at featherweight, isn't it? Why does it say 155 on Tapology? Oh no, it is 155. Sorry, I got it mixed up. Well, Tuke used to fight most of his career at featherweight, and he took his last fight was his first one at lightweight. And I don't know, is it just me or does he look like he's maybe on some some Scottish supplements over there? But I mean, I like Tuke. He's fine. He's definitely gotten a lot better because he did take a long layoff, and his last fight against Connor, what's his name? Connor Mitchell, I think, or Connor Wilson, whatever the fuck it is. Or Connor Hughes, sorry. He looked a lot more different than he normally does in his fights because you watch Dylan Tuke, he's swinging for the fences and he's going for the kill. But in that fight, it seemed like he actually fought a smart game plan. So I don't know if this tournament format and maybe Tuke's new coaching, because he did leave SBG. He got kicked out of Ireland for clocking a cabbie. And he had some powerful friends, so they told Dylan Tuke to get out of the fucking country. So maybe him going to Scotland, training with Mark Ewan, maybe they're fighting smarter game plans. I will say, if Tuke wants to win this fight, I think he can make it boring as shit. Like, you saw the first round against Hughes, he kind of just danced around and did fuck all. I mean, honestly, if he does that against Kazuba, because it's not the regular PFL format where you need a finish to get points. It's you win and you are in the finals. So Dylan could keep it pretty. It comes down to if Kazuba can get the takedowns, because I don't think his wrestling is good at all, but he's persistent to go for the clinch, and we know it's probably going to play out in the clinch. It's just a matter of I don't know how Dylan's going to deal physically at lightweight. I know Connor Hughes, they clinched a lot, but I guess at the end of the day, Connor Hughes is still very green in his career, so you can only take that win with so much, only like a grain of salt. But I hate saying I don't want to bet Tuke at these odds, because I did get in on an early line, but it's like the line's like plus 140 right now. I don't know how much value you think there is in Dylan Tuke at this price, but it's just a weird fight, man. I could see it playing a number of ways, and it's hard to be confident on either side. If anybody's trying to lay chalk on Kazuba, I just think that's irresponsible, because his Combat FC tape is pretty atrocious. I mean, he's winning comfortably, I guess, but it's not like as dominant as you would expect him to be fighting these low-level guys on Combat FC. But I guess Maxim Radu's probably his best win, probably the best win between the two of them, honestly. But I don't know. I think that fight was a credit to how stupid Maxim Radu was, because he went for like a head and arm throw and got mounted. So I don't know. Dylan's fight's smart. I think he can weasel a decision. I like the overs in the GTBs in general. I don't rate Kazuba as a finisher, but I guess Tuke could walk into a KO. I mean, we've seen him chin before, so I tend to lean overs and Tuke by decision for the props. But money line, it's hard to really pick a side with conviction. It was a long breakdown just to say I'm passing on the money line.
You don't have Tuke?
I do.
On?
I got plus 240, but I'm not going to sit here and be confident as shit. I mean, it's a close fight, and it's plus 140 right now. I wouldn't bet that.
Yeah, hopefully he watches over hits. But yeah. What about you, Pepe?
Yeah, I passed on this one. Tuke has just gotten nuked, no pun intended, too many times within the first minute of the fight. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect from him. And Kazuba kind of just seems like a bit of a brute. Yeah, he looks super jacked. So I don't know. I'm just kind of worried that he would just be able to manhandle him a bit, and and finish him either by submission or knockout. But I don't have a great read on this Kazuba guy. I was really tempted in playing Radu against him, because I was getting some fraudulent vibes from him, and I ended up passing. And yeah, we saw what happened with that one. So yeah, I'm just gonna gather some information on these boys here.
Yep, fair enough. It's a tough one. I'm considering maybe some Jakub KO. Maybe hope for that chin to show up again. Alrighty, this is a good fight. Last minute, Friends Miambo Black Mamba versus Mokhtar Benasti. these guys are pretty high level for PFL, I would say. And after taping it this morning, way too much. Kind of feel like Pick'em is accurate. I had a feeling that maybe Miyambo might have some durability issues. You know, getting finished in the first round last 2 times, but obviously one of them was a sub, and his only KO loss was to Ricky Banderas. I watched the Wooding fight. I watched a few others. Didn't really see any chin issues per se. So now I'm kind of left thinking, he's a technical counter striker. He's got long hands, and Bekansi, he's just kind of like a pressure brawler, and he's got a lot of power and he's durable. But he's very limited with his striking, and we've seen, in his last fight, he kind of got shut down, and after that, he doesn't have much else. So it just feels like, maybe he can bulldoze, or he can attempt to bulldoze Miyambo here. Miyambo can be a little bit cleaner than him. Yeah, I can't. It seems like a competitive striking fight. That I can't get a read of. Miyambo loves going for the guillotine. He's not the most physical guy. Bekansi's a little bit more physical, although I didn't like what I seen in his last 2 fights. Although he looked like he was about to knock out Francisco Nuzzi, in the one before the Kakarov. So I'm leaning him. I'm leaning him after my tape, but it's just like I can't really accurately line the fight. So what do you reckon, Pepe?
I'm going to pass on this one. I didn't look into it properly. I know Pierce has a better read on these guys than I do.
What about you, Pierce?
Yeah, so, I remember Bonkasi because when he fought Kakarov, I did like a big deep dive in his career. And I don't know if you got the vibe, Steve. It seemed like he's kind of regressed in his last fight against Kakarov. I don't know if that's a credit to how good Kakarov is, but it seemed like Benkasi, he normally doesn't get like wobbled like that or hurt like that in general. Maybe Kakarov cracks, but I didn't the look in that fight. But, okay,
I think, in my opinion, he cracks quite hard.
Well, we'll find out in the fight after this. But when I saw the line at a pick'em, I thought going into the tape I was gonna play Benkasi just because when I've watched a lot of his fights and like. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. This dude was a fucking killer. But at the end of the day, it's like I think it's a 5-inch reach advantage for Mlambo. And I feel like that's going to be a problem in this matchup. Well, I did play Benkasi by KO just because, not necessarily that I think Mlambo has like horrible chin issues. It's just the way he fights. It's very reckless. He has his hands down. He throws from the hips. He tries to be kind of like a showman and keep it pretty. But at the same time, you got someone like Benkasi who's going to be spamming that left hook. He's going to go body head. If Mlambo gets caught like he did in the Bandejas fight, he was winning the Bandejas fight. He dropped Bandejas with a straight right, but he got caught because he was fucking around too much. And if he does that with Benkasi can hurt him. We saw against Nuzzi, says a no contest on his record, but I think we all know where that fight was going. It's just Benkasi kept framing off and poking the dude in the eye. That's his own fucking fault, but... It's a weird matchup. You got Mlambo, who's game planning for Nuzzi, who pulled out today, and now he's got a lot different type of striker here in Benkasi, who's going to forward pressure the whole fight. So, and Mlambo's going to have to stay on his back foot and with the lateral movement. So I guess the pick'em's accurate just because Mlambo's like, he's a good weasel. He kind of reminds me. Does he remind you, Steve, of William Gomez?
A little bit. It's obviously a lot more striking. Not as much backing away and wrestling.
See, I just get the vibe that if I bet Benkasi moneyline, he's probably gonna lose like a close decision. Benkasi doesn't really win that many decisions, honestly. It's always like
his style is not the best.
But I think the KO at plus 285 is a good shot, just because Benkasi's reliable to go forward and spam that left hook, and Mlambo's reliable to keep his hands down.
Perfect. Yeah, actually, one of my only bets on the first episode was Benkasi KO. I also thought he could knock out the guy we're going to speak about next, and it didn't really work out.
You were talking some shit to me for playing the GTD in that fight at plus 200. Who's the square now?
He almost knocked him out in the first round multiple times, but yeah.
Wrong guy, but I guess this next fight will prove how much that loss really means in Benkasi's career, but we'll see.
Alrighty, you want to take it away, mate? Ali Taleb, Khurshid Kakarov.
This is probably the most high-level fight on the whole card by a wide margin. I'm actually really looking forward to this fight. You got Ali Taleb. I believe he's like 26, 27 years old, undefeated prospect. You know, he's the former UAE Warriors champion. This kid has a lot of hype behind him, and understandably so, man. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us in here watched when we did tape for Vinicius Oliveira. We watched his fight with Ali Taleb, and that was a dogfight, man. And I guess with Taleb in this matchup, I did bet him when he was about minus 180 a couple days ago. Line's gone up, and then it came back in. I guess there's some money coming in on Kakarov. I can understand why it's coming in, just because Kakarov's not a bum. I mean, you look at Taleb's last two opponents, they're really bad fighters, but he's handling them like he should. He's getting first-round finishes over these bums. And I guess with Kakarov, his path to victory in this matchup is probably just like leg kicks, stay on the outside, and kind of just outpoint Taleb. Whereas I feel like Taleb has more paths to victory. I don't know if he'll mix in the grappling, but I think it's a path that's there. I mean, we saw Brett Johns. I know, albeit Brett is a great grappler in his own right, we saw Brett Johns just really get off on top time. And we saw Kakarov wilt as the fight got extended. But my main read on Taleb and why I think he's going to get the finish, you watch Kakarov strike. While he is clean offensively, I do worry that he keeps his chin up in the air, and Taleb's an amazing counter striker. You can just look at the Vinicius Oliveira fight. Kind of similar, tall, lengthy striker, albeit they're both different types of strikers. One of them is more wild than the other, but he just does a great job of timing his counters, man, and it's sharp, and he hits hard as shit. So it's like, if Taleb drops Kakarov, which I think he's gonna hurt him, man, because Kakarov's chin is there to be hit. Kakarov might get dropped, and I think he might desperation shoot on a choke. So I wouldn't say KO or submission. I just think ITD in general, man. I just think Taleb's the truth, and I mean minus 210. I understand that it's a bit chalky for some people, considering that Kakarov's not a bum. But I just think Taleb you throw him in the UFC right now, the top 30 of the bantamweight division. I think he can hang with a lot of these guys. I'm just backing on my guy to get it done. I just think he's too good to lose this matchup.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, I'm one of those guys it just feels a little bit too chalky, and I'm actually considering Kakarov now. I was with you, man. I actually faded him against Brett Johns. I watched that Joe Jr. fight, and he got cracked there. I watched his Stipe Berčić fight, and I was actually impressed by him there, but I think Berčić is quite chinny now. I've taped him a few times. He was knocked out in his most recent one. He was dropped by Sam Creasy as well. And then taping him again for the PFL. I've tried to fade him with KO because he got hurt by this 4-on-1 guy as well, which you just mentioned. And it's like, surely this guy surely Benkati just walks through him. And he looked good there. He can fight on the back foot. He's got long punches. Yeah, his hands are low. But, on the other side, Taleb's hands are the opposite. That it's a high guard, but he's still taking shots. He's one of those guys that likes to take one to return, to counter. That's where he has, a lot of counter left check hooks and knockdowns. That's how he knocked out Oliveira. He just waited in the pocket. And, yeah, it just seems like a competitive striking fight. I don't want to... I think Kakarov is not as much of a bum as I thought he was initially. Plus, he's at Extreme Couture now, so you can see a bit of an improvement. I rate that gym quite high. So yeah, I'm actually contemplating sprinkling a little bit on the dog. But yeah, the issue is, I do rate Taleb as well. So it's like, might be a good looking dog, and then he just gets wobbled or something. But if he doesn't, then I actually feel like the fight looks quite competitive. And we've seen Taleb dropped. We've seen him by Oliveira twice. He's a good fighter, but he's not perfect. He's not amazing. I think this is a competitive matchup. What about you, Pepe?
Yeah, I don't have a play on it. I was just like at first I was thinking that I was gonna try to play some sort of Taleb ITD prop, but the more I looked into it, the more I realized like it wasn't the fight for me. I just think the line is too wide for a bantamweight fight, in which the favorite might not grapple at all, and it could get dicey on the feet for him. The one comment I was gonna make, you had just addressed now with him being at Extreme Couture, for the past couple of fights, because I really didn't know like where he trained before that. Apparently, he was at SBG before that. Um, and yeah, I mean, he looks to have some skills on the feet. Like he can hit pretty hard. It seems like. in his past 2 fights at least. So yeah, I don't know. It's just not the fight for me. Like I don't really want to get in the way of Talib. I think he is like legitimate, like Pierce was saying, but at the same time, I'm not willing to pay chalk on him. So I'm just gonna sit back and watch and enjoy the fight. It should be a fun one.
Cool. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'll say one more thing. I think I have this syndrome where it's like I love watching a fighter so much that I just can't let go of them, and no matter what price they are, this is like Charles Johnson for me, man. I just always bet that dude no matter the matchup. As
Oh,
soon as
fuck that dude.
Hey,
No,
bro,
not Charles Johnson, bro. Oh, you must be burning a hole in your
The
bankroll
reason I bring up Charles Johnson, they train together. My boy Charles and Ali, you know, they're in the gym, so hopefully he gives Charles.
I
that
mean,
winning
he's
leg.
not as good as training with the Basharat brothers.
That's fair. That's fair. Kakarov has leveled up since he's gone the extreme, because I think he did make that move recently. But damn, I didn't even realize Kakarov's got 70% finish rate. Damn, so maybe what's
Well,
the under in this fight?
tell Ali's got 100%, right, or no?
No, he's
It's-
got a decision.
Oh.
Two.
What's the under in this fight? Because it could be a sneaky play. I think
It's one. I contemplated. It's 1.5 though. It's. I feel like.
the under.
Oh, I like the over. I like the
Yeah, if that's
over.
the case, I'm playing the over. If
Yeah, but it's a little
1.5.
bit steamed. It's like they've steamed it so much that they're kind of tempting you in the under.
What's
but-
I don't have it pulled up. What's Kakarov by points? Because that's his path probably in this matchup.
I mean,
Yeah, probably.
you never know when. You never know. He could knock him out.
No.
He dropped what's his name a few times.
Yeah,
Bikasi?
Bikasi is meant to be very, very durable. So
Actually, yeah, that dude's never been finished. You're right, but it's one of those fights where it's just maybe they get hurt a bunch and it somehow makes it to the decision.
yeah, probably they both seem to have good recovery.
Yeah, I might look into that 1.5 a little bit. The over.
Is the
Alrighty.
1.5 over 1.5 plus money? Sorry, I'm bugging about this. If that's the case, I'm a fan.
Is it?
don't
I
know.
mean,
That's-
bet
that's why I
online.
asked.
The lines have been so volatile, man. Like
Oh no, what?
It's been going all over the place.
over 2.5 is minus 155. I thought you said the under 2.5 was minus 1.
no, I said it was lined at 1.5 on Bet3. Oh no, Bet Online. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're wrong.
All right, let's move on. Staropoli versus this random African bum. I didn't look into this at all. Apparently, Staropoli has like 3 fights outside of the UFC, which I didn't even realize, and I haven't watched any of them. I would never play this guy at $1.25, the line that he's at now. He's got a bunch of decisions. He's actually fought high-level dudes. Carl Booth, Diamani was on Contender Series, and LeBout is a pretty decent Cage Warriors guy. So yeah, good on him. I think he's gunning for that another shot, at high promotion. And yeah, I know nothing about this African dude, so maybe you guys can fill me in.
Yeah, I've watched his past couple of fights because he was on Aries. He's been training at MMA Factory for the past like year and a half. So Lopez has been grooming him, and he became the champion in Aries. One of those fights included like kind of a sketchy decision in which he didn't look good at all. Against that Italian brute. I forgot his name. Who Fletcher knocked out on Contender.
Damiani.
Yeah.
Damiani.
Yeah. Staropoli looked like shit. So, Fernand, I guess, is the matchmaker for this PFL card. So I'm guessing he just brought in this African on short notice, to build to continue to build Staropoli. Clearly they're trying to market him. They're trying to build him back up. So it's probably a squash match in which Staropoli makes it super sweaty. So, pass.
You have anything to add, mate?
Nah, there's some of these fights, especially the short notice ones. I didn't look too in depth. It's just hard when you got so many fights this week. But yeah, saw the price on Staropoli minus 425. That's disgusting. I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Nice. All right, let's move on. So, unfortunately, I didn't tape this one either. I was about to tape Vendramini, and he pulled away. So, I actually never taped these guys ever, so I got nothing here. So you two will have to do the hard yards.
No, I didn't look into this one either. Sorry.
Mr. Pierce?
Well, I didn't look into Henrique, but from what I vaguely remember with Yazid, when I taped him for the Vendramini fight, he's master of nothing. Wait, no, what's the word here? Jack of all trades, master of none. That's the best way to put it. I mean, he seems kind of well-rounded. He lost to Muhammad Yaha, who's actually in the UFC now, so that's not the worst loss to have, but it was tough to get a read, in my opinion, on what type of fighter he is, because I saw in a lot of his fights he would mix it up with the striking, and then some fights he's going wrestling heavy, so I just tried to focus on his fights, and it was just like, I couldn't get a read, man. He's boring as shit.
Are there odds out on this?
Yeah, this dude's
He's a massive
dog,
favorite,
bro.
I think.
But this Henrique dude hasn't fought in like 3 years. I think he's actually like a kickboxer. So this is mad short notice for him. So there's probably no value on the dog either. So Yazid's probably going to get it done. I think he's a Fight Factory guy too, if I'm correct as well. Or was that Luigi? No, it was Luigi. That was the Fight Factory guy. He's the one that pulled it. Never mind.
Cool. Let's just move on. None of us have taped the fight. Yeah, this fight is also horrible. Dakota Decheva versus Cornela Holm. This is like the biggest squash match I've ever seen in my entire life. Holm, I really regret not playing her as a decent dog. I think she was plus 200, and she ended up winning a split against that Polish girl. And yeah, I know what she's about. She'll just come forward and she'll grapple. I don't think she's going to have much success against Dakota. All the unders and the finished props are juiced. I've been passing on them recently because I thought some of these girls could make it, but Dakota just been finishing everyone in the first round, other than that Paula Cristina who was in Bellator. So yeah, I mean, I guess she could get finished again. Holmes never been finished other than Melissa Croden in round 3 via knockout, but I'm pretty sure she got hurt in round 1 as well of that fight. So yeah, obviously, I don't know, nothing to play here, but yeah, the favorite should roll however she wants.
Dude, what the fuck is this line? Over 1.5 plus 385?
Yeah, someone steamed it.
What?
It was respectable up until the odds opened up. Someone was obviously waiting for the limits to open up and then
Wasn't
destroy
it a pick'em on like Monday or some shit?
No,
Dude,
it was always slightly
Yo,
favored.
what is that? Is there like inside information on this? Like, Holm
Nah,
is-
she's ran through everyone in
Yo,
the first round.
she's running through bums, bro. Like,
Home is a
she's-
bum, dude. Home is a 6-5 bum. Trust me. I taped every single one of her fights. She's a bum.
Well, how would
Dude,
it go over? Would
that's-
it be Dakota grappling?
I mean, just getting clinched up, just existing. I mean, like,
I mean, how often do you see a 4-1 women's MMA over 7.5 minutes?
The thing is, as
Right.
soon as Home clinches her, she's gonna be eating like knees to the body and stuff, which is what Dakota does. And she's so short as well, man. She's gonna be live for like teep kicks to
yo,
the
can
face.
you don't think she can take her down at all?
Maybe, but she's harmless as well. I don't know. She's probably just gonna get up.
I just need her to exist for 7.5 minutes, like,
I
kind of
would-
like my sex life.
I would, yeah. Yeah, mine's also set at 1.5 minutes. It's a pick'em. It's a pick'em sometimes.
I steam the under.
Yeah, this. I wish I could find this Melissa Croden fight, man. I've watched it before, and she got
Croden
ran through.
sucks.
She does, but she's got power. But you know, I'm pretty sure she got hurt bad in round 1 as well, and she survived. It's just, do you think Dakota can do a better job of finishing her?
Dude, Dakota went to decision, didn't she? Yeah, with Paula Christine.
Yeah, but that girl fought Denise Keyholzer. She's like extremely durable. Like she's never been finished. Like more durable than Home. But anyway, yeah, that's the side. You know, the dog.
Yo,
dog
she went to decision with Pudilova, La Framboise.
yeah, all girls that don't know finishing upside, man.
I mean,
What's Pudilova gonna do?
Pudilova got a UFC finish.
Against? I can't even remember who she finished. Oh yeah, Wu Yan.
Yeah,
That's just-
I bet Wu.
yeah, so did I, bro. That was so embarrassing. Like What the hell was that meme
That
to
wa
you?
I know, literally, that was the most embarrassing bet I think I've ever made in
And
the
then 15
UFC.
minutes of top time against Edwards, and just not a lick of finish, not even a danger of.
And she lost.
Well, she deserves it with that performance. Anyway, let's move on. There's not much to play in this fight. Um, all right.
I'm
So
I'm gonna fucking play the over. Fuck that.
yeah,
Alright, we can move on.
play it, bro. I mean, it's not a bad bet, right? Unless it's over in 30 seconds. Simeon Powell versus Daniel Ledaro. So this, I actually had the over here as one of my only bets on PFL when Powell was fighting Remy. Remy was a dog I regret passing on. He's like a little extremely durable uh, Spanish brawler, and Powell kind of likes to calf kick and jab for a while. And then this, instead, they've given him Daniel Ladero, who's a gassy, submission or bust grappler. And I've ended up playing, to win half a unit on the under $1.40. Yeah, it's a little bit juicy. But I mean, I capped this as 80, 85% to go under. I don't mind playing the juice if I think there's still a bit of value. Completely got steamed. I only had like 1,000 on it. It's just like the lines on Bet Online are just crazy. But yeah, double checking and seeing that it went over against Bayfield in Cage Warriors by 30 seconds. I got a little bit nervous because Simeon Powell also likes to take his sweet ass time, calf kick and jab, and he might go over. But he really should, look to put a stamp on this man. He's getting this bum on short notice. This guy got knocked out. The under 1.5 was like plus 200 against this guy that we're going to talk about, Salomon. And I was like, it's going to finish. But Salomon just can't kill anyone, and I regret it. And he got finished by Salomon in round 1, man. This
Oh, man, I had the over. I hit the over.
square. No,
Yeah,
but
I know.
Powell really should finish this guy. So yeah, I don't know what else to add unless he just really goes out there and fights an extremely negative
Yo,
game plan.
Ladero sucks, bro.
He does.
He's not an MMA fighter.
No, he's
He's
just a good grappler. That's it.
he's
But
like that that bum ass on Aries who fought Soldovsky.
yeah.
Like
No, he's worse. He's worse than him.
they just flip to their back like immediately. They can't take any damage. Like, yeah, this fight's gonna be over in round 1.
Yeah, let's hope so. What about you, Pierce? You got anything to add?
I was trying to be patient and wait for Powell KO and Powell round 1. Well, it looks like I'm going to be getting fucking minus 300 now on that. I just looked at the under, bro. That shit moved $3 whole in the past couple hours.
Wait, $3?
Powell, it's minus 500.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts at that point. Because you said it perfectly. Powell does take his sweet-ass time. I mean, we saw in the Challenger series that I can't even remember the dude's name, but he dragged that dude to damn near almost a decision, got the flying knee at the end. But I'm wondering what they're gonna open the KO at, because in the Rami fight, I wasn't necessarily sure if Powell was gonna get a submission or a KO, because he does go to his grappling every so often, but not too much. But in this matchup, I'm really confident he's gonna find the KO here. So if KO opens under like minus 200, I'll probably hit that. But a man can pray. I don't expect it to open minus 200 or better.
Yeah, it's why I was playing the Remy over, like because of taking his time, and he was probably going to grapple it. My only concern was Powell maybe submitting him, because Remy ends up on his back easily. But here, I reckon you're right. I think he knows what to do here. He's going to avoid the takedown, so there's going to be no takedowns here. So probably just KO, ground and pound or something. All right, Mr. Lou Betcha. I don't care about the card, but you three jobbers combined 918 IQ. Thank you, Pepe and Pierce, for bringing your combined 912. He waited 48 minutes to come up with that. It's good. I'm glad I'm getting some banter back on my podcast. Is Pierce at a pink shirt convention? What is that background noise? I think he's at a Pride rally. I'm not sure. There's one every weekend in America, right?
No, we're actually getting ready to start the Dylan Took fan club. We're at a convention right now.
You're the only one that showed up, right?
Yeah, no, we got James Blissett in the back as well. He just doesn't want to go on camera right now. He's a little shy.
Nah, he's not shy at all, mate.
I figured he was in the darkness behind Steve.
No, no one's allowed in my house. All right. Speaking of bad fighters, man, Anthony Salomon, we just spoke about him, and Jacob Nadoa. I know both you boys are on Jacob at a much better line. I taped it, and I actually wanted to play him at minus 200 just because Solomon, he does a whole lot of nothing. He's got no finishing upside up until he fought Daniel, who we just spoke about. And he's getting like 30-25 by Will Fury, which is just horrible, man. Horrible. And he got hurt there too, so which is why I kind of like Jacob. But I'm always scared with these dudes that literally every single fight is a round one finish. How is his cardio going to look? If he gets extended, Anthony can grapple. He's a warm body at least. I've seen worse guys win by grapple death. But yeah, maybe I just, even the money line's gone now. Maybe I just play the KO, at plus money. That's probably gonna go now after I mentioned it. Usually does. But yeah, maybe you two can add something else, Pierce.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a pretty straightforward matchup here. Pepe actually got a better number than me, but I got Nadoa around like minus 185 if I'm correct. I mean, yeah, he's never been extended. I think all his fights have ended in the first round, but dude looks pretty damn good doing it. I mean, allegedly Salomon has a Greco-Roman wrestling background. I don't know to what extent that holds any merit, but I don't know, man. I don't see what a Salomon win looks like because he is a former 185 pounder. When they size up tomorrow, you're going to see which guy is a true light heavyweight. And with Nadoa, because we've seen Salomon, I mean, in the Fury fight, whatever the fuck you say his name, and in the Ladero fight, he came to strike. And if he's going to strike with Nadoa, man, that jab is going to fucking land out well. I mean, we saw Nadoa, I think he dropped his last opponent with a fucking power jab and followed up, and that dude was out cold, man. So
Yeah.
I just think Nadoa cracks
that guy's extremely, extremely chinny.
But, I mean, shit, he does this to everybody, though. He just walks through them in the boxing. And, I mean, we've seen him, albeit against not the best guys Nadoa has faced, but he seems to have an understanding how to defend takedowns and how to work in the clinch. So I don't really see what a Salomon win looks like. I think the juice is justified here. But, yeah, I tend to believe that if Nadoa wins, it's probably a round one KO since he does that every fucking fight, and it's plus money on the KO, so if he covers minus 330, which he is right now, he's going to get probably a first-round knockout.
Yeah. You want to finish it off, Pepe?
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty intrigued by this Nadeau guy as like a potential prospect. I think he has a pretty good potential, but it's just hard to really know how good he is because he's fighting bums. But the dude is like an athletic freak. He's got a great build for 205, and Salmon is an ex 185er who doesn't have any power. So yeah, I think it's a great spot for Nadeau to smash him. But I'm really excited to see. I mean, I don't want the fight to get extended. Just for the sake of my bet and my nerves. I sweat enough bets. I don't need any extra stress in my life. But I don't know. I think I have high hopes for Nadeau. And I've been riding him the past couple fights, so I'm gonna continue to. I like you said, I got a really good line. And I think he should dominate the fight and get another first round finish. I also played the minus 3.5 and round one plus 185.
Nice, man. Nice. I'll look at something like that too. Just, bite the bullet, and even though it could get extended, just hope for the best.
Who do y'all have if Nadeau were to face Powell? Who do you have, and what would you line that at?
I'll probably have Powell just because he's more proven. I've seen more layers to his game. He's big. It'd probably be hard for this guy to deal with such height and reach when he's like. I was gonna say, I looked at all his opponents, and they're all like round one finish bums. I always like to look into that, especially if someone making a step up or going into the UFC. So maybe someone that can just do the same thing, to Powell as well. But yeah, I guess we'll find out in this fight. If he runs through Salomon, then
Yeah, he doesn't have any fights that have lasted more than what 3.5 minutes was his longest fight, and that was in 2019. So every fight has been under 2 minutes in the past 3 years. So yeah, there's a lot we don't know about him, but he's got all the physical tools, and his striking looks super clean.
yeah. Speaking of which, I think this fight with the Lazy King and Brett Wheeler is kind of a similar dynamic. I was lining up to play the under, and someone destroyed it. So yeah, the round one is like $1.40. It's a bit out there. I get this Wheeler guy doesn't seem like a complete bum in terms of getting finished. He's got a lot of decision losses. He survived till late round 3 against Mansur Banoui, and he got rear naked choke with 30 seconds to go. He seems to be more likely to get KO'd, but he hasn't fought in 3 years. So yeah, I don't know. Well, what can you play here? I mean, like I said, round one for Abdul is like $1.40. It's out there. It's crazy. I don't think there's much value. Maybe round one sub, but then he's live to get a KO too. So I don't know if anything has anything to add here.
I like the KO. He likes to go for ground and pound as well. So
He does. He does.
I don't know what the line is currently. I haven't looked in a minute, but I took a bit of the plus 185 KO line. He's gonna get him down, and like he did in I think it was his first Aries fight. I laid massive juice on him, and yeah, he just pounded the guy out in like a minute and a half. And once he's on top, he's pretty ruthless with it. If he's at a physical advantage with his opponent, they're not going to get up. He struggles, when he's at a physical disadvantage, and I don't think that's going to be the case here. So, yeah, I think he'll ground and pound this guy out.
Cool. Anything you want to add, Pierce?
No, not really. Brad, good submission defense. So I guess maybe the KO is the thing that's gonna happen. But Pepe, is the spread bet on Nadoa, is that a stale line? Because that shit's not moving at all, despite the money line has got since blown
Well,
up.
I don't know what's it at.
Same price. You said minus 165, right?
I think I had minus 150.
Well, even like Steve, I think I found you a play, my man. Nadoa ITD is minus 140 right now.
But they only let you put a certain amount of money on those.
That's true. That's true.
Inside the distance. Well, I'll probably just play his KO, man, because it's plus money, and might just take the risk of the sub.
I'm surprised it's still sitting at plus money. The under 2.5 in that fight's minus 225. I don't know who the books think Nadoa is. I mean, he gets finishes in the first round every fight. I thought that was interesting.
They just don't want to get crushed on the under 1.5, so they're making you lay heavy ass juice.
Which,
yeah,
it might give Saladone a chance later on in the fight. Who knows? All right. Let's move on, boys, to after a few squash matches, actually a decent fight. Cedric Doumbé versus Jordan Zémbo. Anyone else want to take it away?
Yeah, I'll take this one away. We're at the main event. Fucking beautiful. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Zémbo is a guy that I was pretty familiar with, just because I was really in the know on the Aries scene. I capped that promotion's fights, and Zémbo is one of the prospects that trains at MMA Factory, and Fernand Lopez is the matchmaker for Aries and for this PFL Europe tournament. And it's so evident in Aries what he's trying to do there. Like, he has his fighters that he's trying to build up, and they bring in bums from around the world for their fighters to just run through. And that's what he did with Zémbo. Zebo's fought like really low level of competition well in Aries. But the thing is, he just turned 23. His game is power wrestling. He's kind of a physical freak, although he has slowed down in the past. His striking is improved. He's still kind of green, so he's definitely a work in progress. But like I said, he's at MMA Factory training with Imavov and the boys over there. Really good coaching. And then on the other side, you got Cedric Doumbé, who's a super highly touted kickboxer who recently transitioned over to MMA. He's 31 years old, so he's 8 years older, and he also hasn't faced good competition in MMA. That is, he's ran through basically his four opponents. Um, long long-winded, I guess, but I like the Zebo side at big plus money just for the potential with grappling upside. Doumbé has shown relatively good sprawls, but like I said, he's fighting complete bums, and Zebo is kind of a physical freak. He's got really good entries. He can mix it up. Um, and yeah, they were hanging like plus 225. I'm on at plus 225 and plus 195. I just thought the line was wide. And, if I'm going to get a guy with wrestling and grappling upside against a kickboxer with limited MMA experience, I'm going to take that all day. So I do think that Zebo is definitely live to slow down and get knocked out at some point. So I'm not ruling that out. I just think that his chances are more like there's a chance that he looks like a big favorite in this matchup if he's able to get his grappling going. Um so yeah, he's only 23 years old. I'm expecting him to continue to look improved. So yeah, give me Zebo in this spot. What do you guys think?
I think you're on mute, Steve, but I'll go. I kind of hate myself for not betting the Zebo side because I saw the line and it was like you knew what was gonna happen. But I mean, it's a pretty binary fight, man, Pepe. I think you put it right. It's Zebo's gonna be hitting takedowns, or Doumbé's gonna be sprawling, and then maybe we see him put on a striking clinic on the feet. But at the end of the day, we just don't know where Doumbé's grappling is at this stage in his career because it's his 4 wins in the pros are against like trash cans. Like I'm gonna just keep it real. He's doing good. I mean, it's not like he's facing any adversity or like having any bad moments. He's doing a good job against these guys, but this is definitely like a extremely tough test. I'm surprised that this was the matchup that they gave him. I would have thought it would be like a lot easier matchup considering this fight's in Paris, but like you said, Fernand's the matchmaker. He has a little beef with Doumbé, so he's honestly probably setting up his own guy to get a big win. And
What's
take
up?
the star
What's
power.
their beef about? Do you know?
Honestly, I don't even know. It's just words I heard from other people that are probably in the know that they don't like each other, but it's probably Doumbé likes to troll. I mean, I damn near thought this dude, his fight got canceled based on the shit he was posting online, bro. So he's probably ruthless, but I don't know. I think Doumbé round 3 might be a sneaky prop. I have seen Zebo slow down before, especially earlier in his career. And I guess my issue is I didn't want to bet Zebo because I don't trust his jiu-jitsu. Yeah, he is explosive as shit when he goes for like his double legs and his suplexes, but I see him jump for gillies, and I've seen him honestly just let people up when he's on top. So who knows? If I'm Zebo, I'm going for takedowns and I'm sticking to the path, but if he plays around with Doumbé on the feet, man, I don't know. It could get a little worrying because I know Doumbé likes to dig to the body. So I don't know what the round 3 prop is, but if it's any bit like $10 or something, I'll
I
probably
think it
put
was
some money
7
on
to
it.
1.
Oh, that's fucking horrible. I'm not playing
Because
that shit then.
I was looking into that as kind of like a hedge.
I mean, if they offer live lines, I would probably rather live bet Doumbé because you get at least like 5 minutes of data to see what his wrestling looks like
I
at that
doubt
point.
they're gonna have live lines because they're not even airing this
Yeah, you're
outside
probably
of
right.
France.
You're not
But
getting live lines, 100%.
I mean, I threw like $75 on Zebo by submission at plus 800 because I've seen him like he likes to jump front chokes, he likes that guillotine, and if he pursues the grappling, like I think he's gonna attempt to, sub's probably not gonna be a horrible bet.
Yeah, like Doumbé has shown that he has good cardio, but um we haven't seen him be grappled at all. Some people have good cardio and then once you introduce some grappling into the mix, then they just completely slow down. And especially him with the kickboxing background, he might not know how to regulate that. So there's
Well,
a bit of unknowns. What do you think, Steve?
Doumbé, what stuck out, he has a really good sprawl as well. But I taped this first after like a losing weekend, so I was a bit like, now I have to watch Cage Warriors and this low level PFL crap. And then I was driving as I was doing it, and I didn't like Zebo's control. and just kind of like slamming people for the sake of slamming him, letting him up instantly. And it's kind of like a contender series fight for me because both the guys have fought nobodies, so I can't really gauge their level of skill. Obviously, one guy is a world-class kickboxer, but I keep getting drawn to the over 1.5. I think the 1.5 is kind of goes hand in hand with Zémbo, and then even if he loses, it's fine because as long as the over hits, and even Cedric's finishes, over 1.5 late in round 1, late round 2, so hopefully old mate can just Zémbo can just circle around. But the only thing is this Alvi Dazuyev guy knocked him out in round 2 in amateurs, and I can't find it. I don't know. Has anyone else found that fight? But he seems, I don't know, Chin seems to be okay, I guess. That's something I would play. I don't think they're going to come out here brawling.
Yeah, he's only 23 though, so he was young as fuck.
No, he was 21, but Chin's a Chin. I just want to see what his chin's like.
Yeah, but Doumbé's an attritional finisher, anyways. I mean, even in his bum fights, he's getting over 1.5s, I believe, too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I wish I knew more about Doumbé as a kickboxer. Like, is he like a death shotter? He doesn't seem like he's a death shotter according to his topology. He's got a lot of decisions in K1 glory. So
Yeah, he's low volume too. He's not high volume at all, and I think he's going to be weary of the takedown as well. So that's going to lead to him being even more low volume, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Steve, do you know his story on how he just learned all his skill by just training in his garage, and he didn't have a coach for the majority of his kickboxing career?
Cedric Doumbé, nah, but I mean, Mirko Krokop did the same thing back before it was cool.
It's pretty fucking nuts. But I figured I'd share because I'm sure the people watching right now are degenerates like all of us. My best bet for tomorrow, since we got some Cage Warriors fights, I like some dogs. I like Deck Dean as a dog. I think Hendon's a good dog as well, and I forget the other guy's name, but yeah, Deck Dean, Hendon, and there's one more. Sorry, it is Adam Shelley.
Patches Kelly.
I played Patches Kelly as well. He's a favorite. Line's kind of getting out of hand, but
I got him as a dog, dude.
Did you actually?
Yeah. Well, yeah. He was minus 104 when I played him. I capped him at like minus 200.
That's about what he's going to be right now. But I was talking to Steve about it. Over in the Cage Warriors main event tomorrow is probably not a bad spot. But everybody tuned in. We're getting props tomorrow morning. Probably like 10 hours, 12 hours from now, we'll probably be getting props.
That one's scary because if you favor Hendon, and Old Mate gives up his back so much, and he's been rear naked choked before, and he was close to getting rear naked choked by a Shelley, so it's like.
Yeah, I think Hendon's gonna choke him out.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if we get props, Hendon by submission has to be an auto bet if it's gonna be like plus 300, plus 400. But I know, Steve, I think I found you an under. You should bet the Adam Cohen under at 1.5.
Yeah, I'll suss it. I just wiki capped that, and I've seen that his opponent's barely been finished in his losses. But yeah, I'll look into it. Yeah, my only regional bet other than this card is Top Noi on Ryzen, and for some reason it's plus 180, and it's still holding on Bet365. Obviously, my new account that's not limited doesn't have any pool whatsoever. So I'm not moving lines with the new one, but yeah, that line is still pretty whack. I could have it as a pick'em striking fight, or maybe even Top Noi as a favorite. So if I had time to deep dive, it could have maybe been like the KSW, the Serbian dude, where you could put like a full unit on the dog, but it's still Top Noi, so it could maybe get out volume down a stretch if he doesn't finish this kid. So that's my favorite regional bet, other than PFL.
Fuck, man. I got a lot of them. Fucking Deck Dean against that Price dude. The under 1.5 should be free money.
Maybe. My only thing with that is because Dean likes to wrestle. And maybe he wrestles over the 1.5.
No, he's going to ground and pound him.
You reckon?
Yeah, Price gives up once he gets struck at all.
Oh, dude, that got steamed though, man. Minus 225 right now. I just take Deck Dean by KO when they release the odds for it. I think that's going to be a great price because I hope.
Yeah, and then he dives into a guillotine 30 seconds in.
Yeah. Deck Dean's my biggest dog, but I still got to bet Price by submission. But that's his only path to victory, man. I don't know why Deck Dean's the dog and being straight up. I know it's low level, but Chris Price is legit autistic, and he sucks.
And I kind of like I lean the over in Luke Riley versus Loof fight.
Yeah, that's a good spot. I like that too. But
I got to tape that one. That's one of the only cage warriors I haven't taped.
I'm
Yeah,
tempted.
yeah.
I'm tempted on the dog, but I think I might pass on the dog and go over 2.5.
A lot of people like to fade Riley. I don't know. I wouldn't rush to fade Riley.
I just think
Loof
Riley,
isn't bad, bro. Loof is.
he's bro. I think he's a fraud, but we'll agree to disagree. I think if you play in Loof, play as KO when they come out with it because he isn't winning a decision in Manchester. You know that.
Yeah, that's true. The KO might be better.
All right, boys. Thanks for that. Thanks for the extra bets. I was actually going to ask you for the people listening. Yeah, give the people what they want. 100th episode of the Big Brain's coming up soon. I'm trying to figure out what to do. Something iconic. Maybe I get a shitload of guests on. And yeah, we'll see. Leave a comment in what you would like for the 100th Big Brain episode. Other than that, like and subscribe to my guests. You know where they are. And yeah.
Yeah, you
Cheers
should get a panel of guests of different cappers, and everyone does one fight. That usually turns out well.
One fight, as in they pick one.
No, you assign them a fight, and then they come on here and break it down with you.
Oh, like how Lucre brought me on.
Yeah,
For,
yeah, something like that. That's usually a good way to get a lot of people in.
Yeah, the only thing is
you
that
picked the worst card to do that on too.
yeah, I mean, all my special cards are on stupid weekends. The only thing is with my time management and getting all the other cappers from different time zones to line up. We'll see. Maybe I'll just get like a panel of 4 guests. Yeah, we'll see. We got Nick adding on. Actually taping Loof right now. Disappointed. Wingy shots and wrestling. There you go, Pepe. He's going head to head, bro. Show him. Tell him he's a bitch.
He cracked, bro, and Riley's there to be hit. He's hittable. He got rocked by that fucking bantamweight Brazilian bum.
Luke Riley, Adam Cullen, parlay to the moon. Just bet winners, baby.
Just add Ali Taleb to that also.
That's the buster, bro. Don't add the parlay buster to it.
Relax. He's that guy. He trains with Charles Johnson, man. You know better than that.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't train his wrestling. Steve V, end of the do worst hot takes of the highlights. Yeah. I'll just whip out my old podcast with Just Win Baby, and I'll just play that for 24 hours.
Is that the one where you said Andrade was the side against Blanchfield?
Yeah, no. I said I have early lines and I regret it, and I got reverse CLV, so I couldn't cash out. All right. No, that was the podcast that got Just Win to block me. I blame Chad. All right, thanks, boys. We're gonna keep it.
All right, later, bro.
Thanks for listening.
Pierce.